ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of making a Spanish smallsword. Last time we were making a guard for our smallsword, a very basic guard, and today we're going to do the crossguard and the knucklebow. So, without further ado, let's get to it! Looks like we've got our crossguard roughly shaped. Now we're going to cut a different bar of steel that we're going to add around here, so that our guard is going to be reinforced and the tongue will have more space to grip onto it. So, first we're going to have to cut the shape from the paper and stick it to the bar of steel. Later we're going to remove the extra material, and when it will be done, we're going to fit the extra steel onto the crossguard and we're going to weld it. After that we're going to twist it over here and here, so the arms will be twisted, and after that is done, then we're going to add the knucklebow and twist the arms so that it will have this kind of a better looking artistic twist to it. It fits perfectly. It's exactly in the same line, the crossguard and the reinforced part. You remember that small hole I drilled earlier before in the center of the crossguard? And we've got the same kind of hole in our reinforcement, so that when we're going to weld it, we will be sure that it's properly aligned. So, before welding, we're going to have to do one more thing, and that is to make a smooth transition between the reinforced part and our handle, so that there won't be any kind of bump. And for that, first we're going to use an old handle that I've made some time ago. We're going to press it against our crossguard and our reinforced part. Then we'll apply some blue dye. We will scratch the part against it so that the scratches will tell us how deep we have to grind it, and then we will be ready to weld it. It's welded and it's polished, but it occurred to me that there is one major flaw in my design. My intention was to, after the welding, to make a twist of this arm and this arm, so that it will be a kind of decorative twist. But that's a dumb idea, and I tell you why. Well, we're making a Spanish smallsword. A smallsword that was a transition between a rapier and a codsword. In rapier, you're putting your fingers on the crossguard, and what will happen if we're going to put our fingers on a twisted square kind of steel? It's going to bite into our fingers and it will cause a discomfort. So a new idea is to polish it all and round the edges, so that we'll leave an option to put the fingers behind or in front of the crossguard, and regardless of the intention of the person of using it, it will not hurt them. I know that the twisted crossguard would look tremendously better, but it's not always about the look. In fact, I like to make the weapon that is more functional than decorative. Our crossguard is rounded, so now it's time to do the knucklebow. knucklebow is done. Crossguard is done as well, so we could weld them together and then polish the welds. But before that, I want to make something extra, and that extra will be on the knucklebow. I want to take a file and put it on each of those grooves so that it will be rounded also on the inside. So we're going to have a nice ridge on the top, and then in the middle it's going to be rounded instead of being flat. I do love files. And we're done! Look at it! I skipped the part of polishing the welds, so this is the final part that is already done and polished and good to go. As you can see, we already have the square hole for the tongue, so what we got to do now is to fit it onto the hilt, and that part is done. Next we're going to move on to making a fluted handle with a silver wire put inside. And let's not forget about our sponsor. And the sponsor of this whole series of making a Spanish smallsword is Aramis Fencing School.